For Dad's 60th, we made a video montage from old home movies. It was supposed to be the perfect gift, 30 years of gambling memories set to his favorite songs. My brother Daniel handled the technical stuff while I sorted through boxes of old VHS tapes, high-8 cassettes, and even some ancient film reels Mom had digitized years ago. This is going to make him cry, I told my boyfriend Nathan as we previewed the rough cut in Daniel's living room. Look at baby Daniel taking his first steps. Nathan had his arm around me, watching politely. He'd only been dating me for 8 months, but he'd already sat through enough family stories to recognize most of the faces flickering across the screen. Mom in her 80s perm. Dad with actual hair. Daniel going through his unfortunate bowl cut phase. We were about halfway through when Nathan shifted beside me. His arm tensed. "Pause it," he said suddenly. Daniel hit the spacebar. "What's wrong?" "Audio mess up." "No, Nathan looked at me, then back at the screen. "Run it back like 2 minutes." Daniel shrugged and scrubbed backward. Birthday parties flashed by in reverse. Christmas mornings, beach vacations, first days of school. "There," Nathan said. "Start there and play at normal speed." It was a section from the early 90s, Daniel's 5th birthday party. The camera panned across a backyard full of kids attacking a piñata. Mom bringing out the cake. Dad lighting candles. Daniel making a wish. "Okay," Daniel asked. "It's just my birthday." "Keep playing," Nathan said quietly. More footage. Halloween 1993, Daniel as Batman. Thanksgiving at Grandma's house. Christmas morning, Daniel opening a bike. New Year's Eve with the cousins. Easter egg hunt. Daniel's kindergarten graduation. Nathan paused it again. "Where's Lillian?" "What do you mean?" I laughed. "I'm probably just off camera. I was shy as a kid." "No, look." He grabbed the laptop and started scrolling through the timeline. This is what 6 years of footage so far. Every holiday, every birthday, every milestone. "Where are you?" Daniel and I exchanged glances. "I'm sure I'm in there somewhere." "Keep playing." But as we watched, a cold feeling crept up my spine. 1994, 1995, 1996. Daniel learning to ride a bike. Daniel's first day of school. Daniel at soccer practice. Mom and Dad and Daniel at Disneyland. At the Grand Canyon. At cousin Rebecca's wedding. No Lillian? Not one frame. "Maybe I was sick a lot," I said weakly. Nathan pulled up the timeline and started jumping to random spots. His face was getting darker with each click. "This is 30 years of footage. Thousands of hours. You're not in any of it." "That's impossible." Daniel took the laptop back. "Let me check the stuff from when we were teenagers." But it was the same. Daniel's high school graduation, family barbecues, holiday dinners, even recent stuff. Mom's retirement party last year, Daniel's engagement celebration. The camera would pan across rooms I knew I'd been in, past spots where I clearly remembered standing, but I was never there. Or more accurately, the camera always seemed to turn away just before it would have caught me. "This is weird," Daniel admitted. "You were definitely at my graduation. You gave that speech about me being your annoying little brother." "Then why isn't she in the video?" Nathan asked. We sat in silence, staring at the frozen frame of a Christmas morning from 2010. I remembered that morning. I'd gotten Daniel a signed copy of his favorite book. We'd stayed up until 3 a.m. playing video games. But in the footage, it was just him, Mom, and Dad around the tree. Nathan suddenly grabbed the laptop again. "Wait, look at this." He paused on a shot of the living room from 1998. "See the mantle. Count the stockings." 4 stockings. Mom, Dad, Daniel, and 1 more. "That's mine," I said. "Stowe. Look at the name." I leaned in, squinting at the grainy footage. The stocking was there, but where my name should have been embroidered, there was just a blur, like someone had smudged it out. Nathan started clicking through rapidly, finding other shots. The refrigerator covered in report cards. Daniel's were clear, but there were others where the names were mysteriously obscured. A family height chart on a doorframe. Daniel's measurements marked clearly, but another set of marks with no name. Birthday calendars on the wall with certain dates circled but unlabeled. "This isn't accidental," Nathan said. "Someone edited you out." "That's insane," Daniel said, but his voice was uncertain. "Why would anyone do that?" I stood up, my legs shaky. I need to go home, to Mom and Dad's. Lil, wait. But I was already grabbing my keys. Nathan followed me to the car. I'm coming with you, he said. It wasn't a question. The drive to my parents' house took 20 minutes. 20 minutes of my mind racing through every family memory, wondering what else had been edited, wondering why. Nathan held my hand the whole way, his thumb rubbing circles on my palm. They were in the living room watching TV when we walked in. Mom looked up with a smile that faltered when she saw my face. Lillian? What's wrong, honey? The video montage for Dad's birthday, I said. I'm not in it. Dad muted the TV. What do you mean? 30 years of home movies and I'm not in a single frame. Not one. They exchanged a look. Just a flicker, but I caught it. That same look they'd shared when I was 16 and asked why I didn't look like anyone else in the family. When I was 22 and wondered why there were no photos of Mom pregnant with me. When I was 25 and needed my birth certificate for my passport and they'd taken 3 weeks to find it. That can't be right, Mom said carefully. Maybe Daniel missed some tapes. Someone edited me out, I interrupted. Deliberately. Blurred my name on stockings, avoided filming me. Why? The silence stretched out like a living thing. Nathan squeezed my hand. Finally, Dad spoke. We should have told you years ago. My heart stopped. Told me what? Mom was crying now, silent tears rolling down her cheeks. You were never supposed to find out this way. Find out what? Dad stood, walked to their antique secretary desk, and pulled out a manila envelope from a locked drawer. His hands were shaking as he handed it to me. Inside were newspaper clippings, photos, legal documents. The first headline made my knees buckle. Local Fayanaya killed in Hawesi fire. Aina Fayantdagher missing. The photo showed a burned house. Below it, another photo. A young couple holding a baby. The woman looked exactly like me. Her name was Lillian too, Mom whispered. Your birth mother? She was my best friend since college. I sank onto the couch, Nathan beside me, as they told me everything. My birth parents, Lillian and Michael Brennan, had died in a house fire when I was 6 months old. Arson, the investigators said. Someone had deliberately set their house ablaze. I'd been found in the backyard, hidden in the garden shed, presumably placed there by my birth mother when she realized they couldn't escape. We took you in immediately, Dad said. We were your godparents. It's what Lillian would have wanted. But why hide it? My voice was barely a whisper. Mom twisted her hands. The fire, it wasn't random. Mike had testified against some very dangerous people. Drug trafficking case. He was a prosecutor, and they killed him, I finished. And my mother. The police said you might still be in danger, Dad continued. These people, they didn't leave loose ends. If they knew Mike and Lillian had a daughter who survived. So you hid me, Nathan said, understanding dawning in his voice. In plain sight. Mom nodded. We legally adopted you, but we kept it quiet. Moved states. Changed our last names. Let everyone believe you died in the fire too. And we made sure there was no visual record of you that could be traced. Every photo, every video, Dad said. We couldn't risk someone recognizing you, seeing Lillian's face in yours. The older you got, the more you looked like her, and the more careful we had to be. I was staring at the photo of my birth parents. The woman could have been my twin. Same dark hair, same green eyes, same crooked smile I saw in the mirror every day. But it's been 30 years, I said, surely. 2 years ago, someone came around asking questions. Mom interrupted. Said they were writing a book about cold cases. Wanted to know about the Brennan fire. Mentioned they'd heard rumors the baby had survived. We panicked, Dad admitted. Started destroying even more photos, being more careful about social media. We thought about telling you then, but you didn't. The anger was starting to build. You let me spend my whole life wondering why I felt like a ghost in my own family. Why there were no pictures of me as a baby. Why you always got weird when I asked questions. We were protecting you, Mom cried. From what? From knowing who I am. From ending up like them, Dad's voice cracked. Do you think a day goes by that we don't think about that night? Our best friends murdered while their baby slept in the shed. We couldn't lose you too. I looked at more photos in the envelope. My birth parents' wedding. Their college graduation. Photos of them with my adoptive parents, all four of them young and smiling. And at the bottom, a singed baby blanket in an evidence bag. This was wrapped around you when they found you, Mom said softly. Your birth mother's last act was saving you. Nathan spoke up. The people who did this, were they ever caught? Dad shook his head. The main suspect died in prison 5 years later. Different charges. But he had associates, family. We could never be sure you were safe. So my whole life has been witness protection without me knowing it. We just wanted you to be normal, Mom said. To have a childhood without fear. Normal? I laughed bitterly. I spent my childhood thinking I was invisible, that I didn't matter enough to be in family photos. Do you have any idea what that does to a kid? Daniel's voice came from the doorway. We all turned. He was standing there, laptop under his arm, face pale. You knew? I asked him. He shook his head. Not all of it. I knew you were adopted. They told me when I was 10, made me promise never to tell. But I didn't know about. He gestured helplessly at the envelope. We have videos, Mom said suddenly. Real ones. Of you. We kept them separate. Hidden. She disappeared upstairs and came back with a small fireproof safe. Inside were dozens of DVDs, each labeled with dates and code. She put one in the player. And there I was. Baby me taking first steps. Toddler me finger painting. Young me losing a tooth. All the moments I thought had been lost or never recorded. They'd filmed everything, just kept it locked away. We watch these sometimes, Dad said quietly, after you'd gone to bed. To remember. I was crying now. Angry tears, sad tears, confused tears. Nathan pulled me close. The person who came asking questions, he said. Did they give you a name? Mom nodded. Derek Volkov. Said he was a true crime writer. Nathan pulled out his phone, typing quickly. His face went white. There's no true crime writer by that name. But there is a Derek Volkov who was released from federal prison 3 years ago, connected to the Mikhailov crime family. The same family my birth father had testified against. The room went cold. They're still looking, I whispered. After 30 years, they're still looking for me. We don't have that for certain, Dad said, but his voice was unconvincing. Yes, we do. I stood up, pacing. Someone came here asking about the baby who supposedly died 2 years ago, right when you started being even more careful. We increased security, Mom said. Cameras, alarm system upgrades. And never told me why. The anger exploded out of me. I'm 30 years old. I deserve to know I might be in danger. I deserve to know who I really am. You're our daughter, Dad said firmly. That's who you are. I'm also Lillian and Michael Brennan's daughter, and someone murdered them for it. We sat in silence, the weight of 30 years of secrets crushing down on us. On the TV, frozen on the screen, was toddler me, mid-laugh, reaching for the camera. A moment of joy trapped in amber, hidden away like everything else. What do I do now? I asked finally. We keep you safe, Mom said, like we always have. By hiding? By pretending I don't exist. If that's what it takes, Dad said. Nathan stood up. No, respectfully, Mr. and Mrs. Conway, but no. Lillian's lived in the shadows for 30 years because of crimes she didn't commit, testimony she didn't give. That's not living. You don't understand the danger. Then help me understand, Nathan said. Because from where I'm standing, the only crime here is that Lillian's had to live half a life because you were too scared to trust her with the truth. I looked at him gratefully, then turned back to my parents. I need time to process this. All of it. Lillian. And I need those videos. The real ones. I deserve to have my memories, even if no one else can see them. Mom nodded, tears still streaming. Of course. They're yours. They were always yours. I gathered the DVDs, the photos, the newspaper clippings, my history hidden away in a fireproof safe like evidence of a crime, which I suppose it was. As we left, Daniel caught my arm. I'm sorry for all the times I complained about being the only one in photos. I didn't know. Neither did I said. That's the point. Nathan drove me home in silence. Back at my apartment, I spread everything out on the coffee table. 30 years of invisible life staring back at me. What are you thinking? Nathan asked. I'm thinking about that night, my birth parents realizing they were trapped. making the choice to hide me in the shed instead of trying to run with me. They knew, didn't they? That they wouldn't make it, but they made sure I would. They saved you. And then my adoptive parents hid me. For 30 years, I picked up a photo of my birth mother. We had the same hands. I understand why they did it. I do, but understanding isn't the same as forgiving. They stole my history, my identity, my right to choose how to live with this threat. I looked at him. Am I wrong to be angry? No, he said simply. You're human. That night, I watched every hidden video. Hours of footage of a childhood I remembered but had never seen proof of. It was beautiful and heartbreaking and infuriating all at once. All those moments locked away. All those memories treated like contraband. The next morning, I made a decision. I called my parents and told them I was hiring a private investigator, a real one, to look into Derek Volkov and anyone else who might still be interested in a 30-year-old murder. Lillian, please, Mom begged. Don't draw attention. I've been invisible my whole life, I said. I'm done hiding from ghosts. It took 3 months, but the investigator found what we needed. Derek Volkov was indeed connected to the Mikhailov family, but he'd been freelancing, hoping to curry favor by tying up old loose ends. He died 2 months ago in a car accident. No one else was looking for me. The Mikhailovs had bigger problems these days than a decades-old vendetta against a prosecutor's baby. The threat, such as it was, had passed. I confronted my parents with this information. They cried, apologized, admitted they let their fear override their judgment. We just loved you so much, Mom said. The thought of losing you like we lost them. I know, I said. And I did know, but knowing didn't erase 30 years of being edited out of my own life. I'm in therapy now, working through it all. The identity issues, the trust problems, the strange grief of mourning parents I never knew while reconciling with parents who knew me too well to let me be known. Nathan's been my rock through it all. He proposed last month, actually. Said he wanted to make sure I was in every frame of our life together. No more hiding. No more editing. Just visible, documented love. Daniel's redoing the video montage for Dad's birthday. This time, I'm in it. Every birthday, every Christmas, every mundane Tuesday afternoon. He's even adding some of the hidden footage with my permission. Because I exist. I existed then, even when they couldn't show it, and I exist now. My parents and I are slowly rebuilding. They're learning to see me as an adult who can handle hard truths. I'm learning to see them as flawed humans who made impossible choices out of love and fear. And somewhere in heaven or wherever they are, I hope Lillian and Michael Brennan know their daughter survived. Not just the fire, but the aftermath. The hiding. The lies meant to protect. The truth finally coming to light. I kept my name Lillian, both in honor of my birth mother and because it's who I've always been. But I added something to my apartment, a photo of them, my first parents, out in the open on the mantle where anyone can see. Because I'm done being invisible. Done being edited out for my own protection. Done living in the shadows of someone else's crime. They saved me that night, hiding me in a garden shed. My adoptive parents saved me too, in their way, hiding me in plain sight. But now I'm saving myself by being seen.